back for a, what would they call that? That is a, back for an encore presentation is Mr. Bill Baker. How are you, Bill?
Good. Thanks for having me back.
And gotta love that song.
Yeah.
I love it.
Classic.
Bruce Springsteen, big man Clarence Clemens.
He's the boss.
Oh, yeah. Thought it was Tony Danza. Oh, I know. I've been getting made fun of, ladies and gentlemen, for my references to some old movies showing my age. I just referenced Tango and Cash, and Evan here just about fell down laughing at me. Out of all the 80s movies, action movies that were out there, I had to reference one, Tango and Cash. Probably one of the worst ones out there. So what is your favorite Christmas song, Bill?
Favorite Christmas song? Oh, wow. What's that one? It's a classic. I can't think of the guy's name.
Don't say "Baby, It's Cold Outside" because we're going to get in trouble.
No. I'm drawing a blank on. It's a classic one. It's an oldie.
Okay, you just pretty much named all of them.
They're all classics. That Bruce Springsteen one we opened with is pretty good.
You said one about the Eagles.
The Eagles have a really good one. There's one that's I can't think of it. It's an old classic though.
The one I like, and you're gonna once I say it, you're gonna be like, got it. It is the one at the end of Die Hard.
I'm not sure I know that one.
You don't know one?
I haven't seen Die Hard in a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a Christmas movie.
I know. Well, Christmas ain't here yet. I'll get to it.
It's okay. Well,
I'll get to it.
It's when you listen to it or when you watch it, you're gonna go, got it.
Okay.
It's whenever whenever the weather starts to go, that song sticks in my head. Because it says, how does that start out? It says, the weather outside is frightful. The fire is so delightful.
Okay.
But it's, he actually sounds better singing it than I do. So that's why he made money off it.
Of course.
I did not. So, and where are you from, Bill? So to refresh everybody's memory.
I am from Relentless Carpentry, The Floor for You, and Surface Solutions, all out of Mokena, Illinois.
And what exactly do you do there?
Everything. Everything from full kitchen remodel, flooring, countertops, and trim work inside the home.
So last week when you were here, we were discussing just a little bit of a breakdown with all the with basically a little bit about each company. Mm-hmm. But, hour goes by really quick. It goes really fast. We try to get through everything that we can, and I found myself as being new, to this type of endeavor I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I try to, compress everything. Where I decided to, what, I'm going to, because there's a lot of information that needs to be given, and I try not to drone out about it, and I try not to, just drag on, but a lot of this information is something that, at least I find when I get some information, it's like, oh, we're going to touch on this, but I don't get any details. Mm-hmm. And I don't know where to get the details. And oftentimes to get those details or information that you need, you're not getting it from an objective source. So like a few shows ago, I had on a gentleman about tankless water heaters. And when I was talking to him about tankless water heaters, it seemed like we droned on a little bit about them, but there isn't a whole lot of places that you can go to get objective information about tankless water heaters, where I could say, okay, I want tankless water heaters. This is what I'm going to get, the pros and the cons, blah, 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 and, and an objective opinion on it. I'm going to get some sort of slant from the person who's selling them, or a person the manufacturer, or the person trying to sell me on an install. I just wanted to give information, and that's, I wanted the information that I gave, which was a little bit detailed, and, I apologize if we do drone on, but, about certain things, but I figure that giving this information, even if it's just a couple little tidbits that can save thousands of dollars in headaches and frustration, I think, it's worth listening to, two idiots like us for an hour. You know what I mean?
Hey, speak for yourself.
You think I speak for you? I don't even know your language. I know, Breakfast Club reference, but realistically, I mean, seriously, they're going to listen, to folks on the rail, two contractors. But the reality is, you want to get that information, that kind of like as much detail as you can, because these things aren't cheap.
Right.
Tankless water heaters are not cheap. Kitchen remodels are not cheap. Cabinets are not cheap. Countertops are not cheap. They add the wow factor, but if they're not done right, those are visible. Once they're cut, they're ordered, they're cut, they're in. Mm-hmm. And that's,
absolutely,
you don't want to make a mistake with that. So having this little information, and even if you have to decipher, go through and listen to a few things and decipher, that's what we're trying to do here. So, I mean, if we drone on a little bit, I apologize. For everyone who's listening to us at work, thank you. We're working too. Hands are dirty, scuffed up, and dry from doing what we're doing. So, you guys work, and we appreciate you listening. And if you're listening at home or wherever, again, we appreciate all the support. So, but getting back to just giving out information, again, there's just so much stuff to process, so many different places to get information, and you just don't want to have something like, being herded towards products that you may not like because their sales are better.
Right.
Or not their sales, but even their advertising is a little bit more, or advertising dollar is a little bit larger. Mm-hmm. I would rather have someone like your companies that are local. One, because I can meet you and buy from you. Two, I can go to your store and buy from you. And three, I can come to you if there's an issue. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want.
Right.
I don't like buying where I can't communicate with someone, and you know what I mean? Or you have to, please hold. Please hold. Oh, well, you have to talk to, Terrence. He's only here from, I don't know, Monday through Friday from 9:05 to 9:10 a.m. Pacific time. It's serious. I'm not, you know what I'm talking about. Just getting a hold of some people to get certain information, it just can be very, very frustrating. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm sure you've run into stuff like that as well, in what you're doing.
Sure. Yeah. We try to make ourselves available almost all hours of the day through our Facebook message. That's the easiest mode of communication for after hours. Mm-hmm. That's something that we still get alerts for, and we see. We'll usually get back to you on the next open business hour, but if there's something you're looking for immediate assistance on, a few of us have access to it. We'll try to get your questions answered in a reasonable amount of time if we can.
Well, that's the name of the game, is just getting in touch. But here's one thing people also, we want everyone to understand, and this goes through everywhere, all across the board, and I'm sure a lot of people are going through it as well, just like we are, is there is a lot of things happening now that we've never seen before. We've got a lot of shortages. We got a lot of shortage of staff, and just now is the time to be more patient. Especially this year, be more patient, be just a little bit nicer and understanding of what people are going through, because, it's usually a time of stress, but it's also could be a time of just kind of maybe go to that business and wait. If you have to wait a little while, they can really use your money rather than, okay, I can go someplace and maybe they have a bunch of people on standby, because the people that are working at a business like yours or mine, they're living in the area. They're in the neighborhood. They have families. They have to go to schools, the whole 9 yards. What was that? They had I think there was a ad that I saw for small businesses. And small business, it says support small business. When you support a small business, you support a family. You support a local family. Kids in school, kids in baseball teams, sports teams, whatever the case may be, and it goes on. Local schools, local businesses, and it's just a wheel that continues to go. So, I'm a big proponent of doing that, and plus, like I said, is I can get to know who you are.
Right.
You being on the show here is people are getting to know who Bill is, and probably wondering, okay, you got all these companies. It's like, well, how are you doing you can usually do one or the other. How are you able to do all of them? But realistically, I mean, I guess, and I'm not going to answer for you, but I would think, just from my perspective is watching the construction field and what you do, you're already dealing with the cabinet people.
Yeah.
You're already dealing with the flooring people because you're doing a kitchen. You're already dealing with a countertop people. Okay, rather than dealing with separate entities, now you're just looking in the mirror.
Yeah, a lot of times we're dealing with the same people through the whole process. We're dealing with them for cabinets over here, and then making their flooring selection here, and making their countertop selection over here. So it's almost like a cycle. We're still dealing with the same people, and there's a lot of individual cabinet jobs and flooring jobs and countertop jobs, but a lot of times we're all working together and with each other to make it a smooth process, if you will. But it's been tough with the demand of the product or the availability of the product on all aspects. We've had flooring backorder issues, cabinetry backorder issues, some countertop backorder issues. But that's anywhere you go. So, just so when people come in and we say, well, it's 15 weeks to get your cabinets. And they say, well, I want it in 4 weeks. Well, you can go to other places, but not many other places are going to be able to meet that demand.
And if they do, we got to ask a question, how?
Yeah, unless they bought up all the stock or, it's a big box store or something like that maybe. But then you're sacrificing some quality for getting your cabinet sooner.
Or let me ask you this, or are they telling you that so you could take that deposit and then only to, we thought it was going to be 4, but they just let us know it's pushed back another, 10 weeks.
That unfortunately is something that happens. And we definitely ask for your patience on that because it's at the end of the day, it's out of our control.
That would aggravate
me. We are the retail center delivering the product to you. So ultimately it's on us, but when our vendors, tell us a date and we tell it to you, so they say 4 weeks, and then it turns into 10 weeks, just know that that's out of our hands, that's out of our control. And that's really anywhere you go. We recently ordered furniture for our bedroom in April. And when we walked in, and it's a name brand place. When we walked in April, the salesperson greeted us at the door and he said, "Hey guys, looking for anything in the near future?" We're like, "Well, we're just looking for like a dresser and a nightstand and stuff." "Okay, well just know that anything here is not available until like August or September at the earliest."
Wow.
So if you're okay with that lead time, please feel free to shop. So we did, and we bought something, some stuff for the bedroom. It's actually coming next week. Although, we're still missing 2 pieces that are not coming until, I think, February or March.
Okay.
It was all promised
right
this week. Then we got the call saying, "Oh, we got 2 out of 4 of your pieces."
That doesn't help.
And now we have to wait because it apparently wasn't on the shipment that they were expecting.
That's whatever you got.
So I understand. I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at them. I get it. But that's something that we all are going to have to adjust.
It's running across just all over. But what we're going to do right now, because we're going to talk a little bit about the supply availability and also the downside of that is quality control issues that we're finding on our end with some of the products. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we will come back and discuss those with Bill Baker.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell.
Welcome to the Prepare to Repair Show. I am your host, Steve Suarez. Joining me back is Bill Baker with Surface Solutions, Floor for You, and Relentless Carpentry. You were enjoying the Christmas music. I like that. You're getting into spirit.
I secretly enjoy it at times, yeah. I'm guilty of that.
Well, you know what? It is the season.
Right.
So
it's temporary.
Well, you know what?
It's a small part of the year.
But you can be happy throughout the year,
Of course.
I mean, you try to keep it throughout the year and try to keep the spirit throughout the year.
I have the spirit throughout the year, yes.
There you go. So, and unfortunately, a lot of folks are not, as things continue to, I guess, be difficult to find, or products difficult to find, supply being low, and it's just, I think this whole thing is just really just stressing everybody out to max levels, and you know, it's understandable, but I mean, just try to understand, basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we've had a very good response.
Yeah.
A lot of people are understanding because it's almost it's the normal now.
Right.
It's the new norm. So it is what it is.
Exactly. Well, you know, what we found, like you were saying that you were about getting furniture, and plus you're having issues with getting certain supplies. I think a lot of people realize right now that there is lead times on things, and they're aware. I have seen on a few posts on social media about people looking to get something done. Oh, I'm looking to get this done right after January, and they've got their whole itinerary all planned out, and they were looking for contractors and everything, and everybody was just chiming in. You are not going to get anything for a while. If you think you're going to go and just start getting everyone together now and planning for a start date of mid-January, that just is not going to happen. You are looking at when? Basically March, I would say.
As of right now, yeah, a lot of things are pushed out that far. The one thing we haven't really seen much of a pushback on is the millwork. So when we do new doors and casing and crown molding and all that, I haven't really had much of a delay in getting that product. So that's something that can be done sooner than later, usually.
Yeah, we've had issues with certain plumbing supplies where certain kinds of PVC, certain kinds of parts. I had like I think I said last week, I had a huge water line that I was doing. It was a commercial water service, and normally I'd go to two different places, one for the indoor, one for the outdoor. And what would happen is here I had to go to 4 or 5 different places to get what I needed, and it was frustrating because it's just that takes time and fuel, and it's all these things just add up, and plus, like I said, it's the frustration. I was aggravated. I fell into that category. I didn't take it out on anybody, but because it's not their fault. It was just, just thinking to myself, this is just, it's frustrating. But another side to that is, as production is being ramped up to try to keep up with demand, we're finding, and I don't know if you're seeing this on your end, is we're finding that there is a lot of increase in failures. Like with water heaters, we're finding failures of products, like gas valves on them, and needing to be replaced. And I guess there's a brand of water heater out there that we've gotten a couple calls on where they're only a year or two old, if that, and the gas valves went on them or parts went on them, and the manufacturer's saying we don't have any.
Yeah.
They don't have any more to give. They don't have any more of those parts. So what they have to do is they have to take them back to the place of purchase and just get an exchange.
Yeah.
Which is pretty frustrating, considering the fact that now you've got to take out this water heater, bring it back to the store, go through the return process, then bring it back to the house and reinstall it.
Yeah. And who's paying for that?
Well, if you had it done yourself, then you could do it yourself and you're okay. If you paid somebody to do it, then now you've got to pay somebody again. And that's the one thing I've been stressing on. I think you saw it on some of the social media posts. Now is the time to get the warranties. Get the warranties, get the warranties, get the warranties, because this is where you're going to have some of your issues. Now is the time. And like when we've always given a labor warranty that was equal to the manufacturers. So any manufacturer covered repairs, replacements, or issues, we covered. We covered the labor on. So basically they didn't have to pay again. If there was a problem with the water heater, we'd yank it out or get the parts, yank it out, whatever we had to do. They didn't have to pay again and again and again. I mean, I thought that was insane. I don't sell water heaters. I sell hot water.
Yeah.
You called me because your water was not hot or it was not working. I got you it working again. You know, you have no idea what this component is for the most part because you're not a plumber. I mean, you know, there's certain things that I buy. It's like I have no idea how this works. It's just that's why I got you. You know what I mean?
The expert.
Exactly. If I'm having my kitchen remodeled and I'm going to buy counters, I'm going to ask, okay, I need, your experts from your company to be able to help me, find the best product of that I'm looking for. Same with the flooring quality. Same with, and I've got to look at it and see how it's going to fit in my budget and whatever I'm going to do and what my application is I'm going to use it for.
Right.
So, and that's where you start getting into it. Same thing if I'm doing finished work, cabinets, and so forth. I mean, especially if you want, like, say, if you're doing a custom kitchen, you can't go to just a big box and say, okay, I want that cabinet, I want that cabinet, and that cabinet, because it's going to look like when you get this in your beautiful kitchen and those beautiful countertops that you bought that cabinet, that cabinet, that cabinet, and you don't want that.
Right. Yeah, that's important to know what your space is being used for before selecting any of our products or any product in general. So that's a question that we ask, especially with the flooring. What's the application? What room is this going in? Do you have pets? Do you have kids? Is there a wheelchair? There's a lot of things we need to know to steer you in the correct direction on what flooring is best suited for you. Same goes for the cabinetry. Are you a chef? Do you eat out every night? Do you not care? What's your main use for your kitchen? Do we need spice drawers, dividers, cutlery things, aftermarket accessories? That's important to know when we're designing your kitchen, how elaborate we're going to be. And it'll depend on the budget if you want aftermarket accessories or anything like that. And the same for countertops. What do you plan to use it for? Are you best suited for a quartz, a granite, something else? There's different colors, different price points. So it's important to know what you're using your space for when making the purchase. And we try to educate the customer at the time of our estimate or measure or stop in the showroom, however they reach out, to find what is best suited for your needs, because not all kitchens are built the same. Some are master chefs and they want all the bells and whistles. And some are just like, I just want white cabinets.
Right.
I don't care. Just give me white cabinets with a white backsplash and a dark floor, and I'm happy.
Or they show you a picture. They show you something that they saw online and says, "This is what I want."
Yeah.
And then you guys have a tough job. I mean, just trying to make
it's involved.
What somebody has a vision in their head, and you have got to try and make it. Mm-hmm. That's extremely difficult. And the reason why I say that is it's kind of like reading a book. If I read a book and you read a book, and we read the same book and we both made a movie about it, they are going to be totally different movies because
Sure.
we're both going to have different visions of this.
Yeah.
So, and I say that when you're doing somebody's telling you how they want it, they're telling you, and you're trying to take what they see in their mind's eye and put it and make it a reality.
Right.
That's extremely difficult. I mean,
it is at times. And we usually ask for inspiration photos. At least start with some sort of foundation, not just, I don't know, you design it and let's see if I like it. Well, I'd like some sort of a foundation
Right.
to work with. So let's look up some pictures. Let's find something, at least a style that you're looking for, and let's go from there. So if I could at least see what you're kind of going for, then I have a better chance of designing it how you want it, how you really want it.
Well, that's like I said, it's extremely difficult to do. But when you have that knack and you do this, you can get all that information, you can extract it and put it all together to give them the end product that they like, or that they're going to be very happy with. Now, I want to add, here's one thing that I've seen out there, and you're probably going to agree with me on it, and I know people have this question. It's like, I'm getting a kitchen remodel, okay? I'm looking to have it done. What do I expect? In other words, I'm just going to do this, and this is going to be great. And I watch TV, and they say it's going to be done in 2 hours. And,
with commercials.
Exactly. I mean, you can advertise all you want while you guys do it. It's up to you. But, I mean, realistically, it's like, what do I expect? what's going to happen? What's this time frame? How long is this going to last? Because obviously you've ordered the materials and you got them here. What is one? Because I don't think that this information is out there that people can realistically get to assess, okay, what this is going to entail, how much of an inconvenience this is going to be for a period of time, and what is, because it's going to turn things upside down in your house because you're living in a house that's an active construction zone. So, and this is hiring the right contractor that's going to move this right along. You throw in a contractor that basically has no clue, which we've seen people do on social media on a few occasions where they hired the wrong person who was in over his head, and they were a year into this and still living out of boxes and washing dishes in the laundry sink.
Right.
So,
and you don't realize how important your kitchen is until you don't have it. Just like anything.
Absolutely. You have no idea. So, I mean, again, I guess my question is what to expect. You should write a book. What to expect when you're doing
what to
your
expect
rehab.
when expecting a remodel.
Exactly. There you go.
So after we finalize and make all your selections, depending what your selections are, the lead times are out to 12 to 15 weeks just to get all the products in and together and in our warehouse. Once we receive that, we'll schedule a start time that works for you. Most of our kitchen remodels, we do a start to finish usually within 3 to 4 weeks, depending how involved it is. I mean, we've had them go up to 2 months, but there's much more involved in that. We'll give you an estimated timeline. Kind of, here's a timeline of events. We're going to come in on Monday. We're going to tear everything out. We're going to take it away with us, unless you want to save the cabinets. But we'll take all the garbage, all the debris away. We'll cover things with plastic, protect the floors if they're being saved, and get to work. And we'll give you as much of a timeline and expectation as we can. Obviously, things change. You start to open walls, and there's discoveries. Same with soffits. We take soffits out. I could almost expect there's at least one electrical or one plumbing issue within the soffit. Sometimes we've opened it up, and it was a nightmare. And there was there's
everything,
all kinds of work in here. Now it's going to be a couple $1,000s more. And it's hard to
Okay, you just touched on something right there that we're going to have to, because honestly, that's what people fear. Right there, what you just said, that's
unforeseen.
That is a 100% fear when they're starting a remodel is what happens. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to discuss that a little bit more.
Bell.
Back with me is Mr. Bill Baker.
Hello, hello.
And, we touched on a spot that I think people really it's a fear and a fear and an exciting part of it, I guess. It's, when you're getting into your project, a kitchen remodel, we'll just use that as an example. You get into the project, and when you are factoring in this remodel or this project that you're doing, you were saying off the air that you should factor in, if you've got a $40,000 budget, which seems like a lot, but for a remodel, that gets eaten up quick.
That's an average price point for most of our remodels. 30 to 50 would be a standard remodel cost. That's all new kitchen cabinets, countertops, all the bells and whistles. So it adds up quick.
Now, when you say, okay, you got that budget number, what do you advise clients to do? I mean, in addition to that, because like you said, you open up walls, you see things that, who knows what anybody's done, what's been touched. There's many of houses where they've had people they let them loose in the house, and it's a fun house basically. It's bad. And now you got to fix it. You got to make it all work, and you got to redo everything that was done prior.
Right.
And obviously that's not in the original budget because you budgeted for what you know, not for the unknowns, I should say.
Yeah, and there's almost always something, even if it's just minimal, $100. I would probably advise to have at least 20% over your budgeted amount for the remodel.
Okay.
For unforeseens, for getting to a certain point and wanting to, since we're here, let's add crown molding, or I want to change my countertop to something a little bit nicer now that I'm seeing it all come together. Or you want to make changes, or there's unforeseens. It could be many different things. But if all you have is $40,000 in the bank, let's not spend $40,000 on your original kitchen estimate, because there's a chance that that number could increase. So definitely have a little extra set aside for incidentals, for unforeseens, for upgrades you may want to make along the way. A lot of people don't have that vision from the beginning, and once it starts to come to life is when their vision starts to kick in. Like, wow, I could never imagine this. I really want to add this now. I really want to do this since we're here, since the walls are open, since, whatever the situation is. It's their opportunity. This is the best time to do it. So I would definitely recommend having, I would say 20% safely, just for unforeseens. You don't want to spend all this money and have nothing left to do this additional stuff that we couldn't see in the beginning, that's inside your walls or behind the cabinets or in the ceilings. We've taken ceilings down and found outdated Romex wiring that's all got to be updated.
There's a number of things that you're seeing. Yeah. It's the whole thing is you don't want to be involved in this, because once you're in, you're in. Once you start removing
once
everything,
you take it out, now it's yours.
You're into it. So
right.
You want to be able to have the budget to complete
right.
and move along
and make everything right.
Exactly. So you want to have the room in there just in case something happens. But also too, I think the fun part is you've got the negative part, which you may see some things in there that you are going to have to fix. Which, that's going to, if it's an older house, it's going to just prepare for it.
Prepare to repair.
Exactly. I like that. I've heard that somewhere before.
Yeah.
But you want to prepare for that, and then that will ease some of the anxiety if you're basically know that going in. But the cool part is obviously if you have that little extra budget, and you have the other part, which is because a lot of people are very visual. Mm-hmm. They see everything come together and like, okay, what if we did this? What if we did that? And what if we added this? I didn't, and then you start. Obviously, it can continue. It can get out of control.
So it happens all the time.
You got to rein yourself in.
Yeah, this kitchen looks great. I really want to change the rest of my trim throughout the first floor because now it makes the rest of my house look outdated.
Right.
Which a lot of times it does. Okay, well, let's change the doors and all the trim now. Right. Well, we want to do the rest of the flooring now throughout the first floor. We want to change our vanities too. It
could snowball.
It's just a snowball effect. Right. Yeah.
Now, here's what I wanted to, ask you about too, as we discuss that. Now, there's going to be people out there that are listening to you when you say, $40,000 for a remodel, and there's things that go into it. But let's say you gave an estimate for a remodel of that price, and then you're a homeowner, and it's like, okay, I got Bill who came in here and gave me a price of $40,000 for this. And I've got, XYZ Construction came in here. They told me they could do it for $25,000. Now, again, you get that. I've seen people on social media. It's like,
sure.
Having a few estimates that are within the ballpark of each other. So if one's 40, one's 44, one's 37, those are within, and they should be like for like in everything that you're getting. But when you have one that's that far off, those would be, I would get some questions. And when I say questions, we're talking barking dogs, car horns, train siren, everything going, just everything telling me we need to look or basically maybe, remove that one, because that number, as attractive as it is, there's something missing.
more times than not.
And I run into that on our end because we have people, well, we got a guy that's doing this or somebody that's doing this. Well, you need to ask pertinent questions because there's a difference between getting a quality job and getting the job done.
Right.
Huge difference. So
Yeah.
you can have someone do the job, and as you start moving along and find out the quality of what was put in is inferior, and then you start having problems as things go on, now you're stuck with it, and if you have to repair it, now you're out the money that you spent plus
You're
whatever it is.
still end up spending the 40.
Exactly. So actually, it's going to be more than 40 if you spend 25 to start.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you're demoing everything, and because you're not going to be able to use any of it. So, I mean,
Right.
it's one of those things I always stress on this show is, and I stress it everywhere. I stress it on social media. I stress it on the show, is taking the time to hire the right people and get the job done, and asking a lot of questions. Know what you're getting, because if you look at the dollar amount, and the dollar amount may be higher than what your budget is, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's expensive, if that makes any sense. Because when you look at what you're getting for your dollar for dollar, and what somebody else for a lesser price was giving you dollar for dollar, you're getting more with your estimate that you're giving. Am I right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, I mean, when you're looking at it, you need to be able to compare what am I getting for my money instead of looking at the exact dollar amount. Now, I mean, I use that, I use water heaters as an example for what we do. And I use them because they're popping up a lot because people are having issues with them and so forth. But when you look at, say somebody, XYZ Plumbing is, well, I got to, they're doing it for $100 or $200 less than you. Okay, well, they're doing the water heater less. They're giving you the same water. Okay, fantastic. What's their warranty on it? Well, they're giving me a 1-year warranty on it. Okay, well, that's a 1 year against leaks. If anything happens in that time or any issues happen, you're responsible for it. You've got to make the phone call. You've got to contact the manufacturer. You've got to replace this or whatever, pay again. If we put it in, you call us. We take care of everything. I mean, for a few extra, unless you did this yourself and you can do this and you are experienced in this sort of aspect of this job, but if, then by all means go that way and you can handle your repairs. But if you're going to hire someone, I would hire someone that's, here, you take care of it. I paid you. That's what I paid you for.
Right.
Anything happens with the water heater, I'm making a phone call. You get over here, get this thing going. I'm watching TV. I'm hanging out with my kids. I'm doing whatever because that's what you paid for.
Right.
If I paid for a water heater that I have to repair, you know what I mean? It's not worth it. Again, like, if they're doing, they paid someone good money to come out and do a job, and I've got to put cabinets back together. I've got to, they're coming apart, or you know what I mean? Or
and that's been a thing.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I mean, so that's the kind of thing that that frustrates me. It's like it frustrates me because I do everything like if I was an owner. Or not an owner, but if I was a purchaser, I was a buyer. And if I'm buying something, that's what I paid you for.
Yeah.
I paid you to come and do this. I didn't pay for this to have to deal with this.
Right.
So, and it comes down to, like I said, you'd be surprised that if you really look at it and you get a good reputable company, you're going to get a very good reputable product with a good reputable warranty.
Exactly.
And sometimes saving them a few dollars doesn't really get you as far as you think it does.
Yeah, if you're taking the kitchen for 25 and we said 40, you may be getting, Joe Schmo with his buddies on the weekends only or after their day jobs,
right?
Coming in after hours doing it for you. And if that's what you want, then go for it. But if you want a company that's going to show up when we say we're going to show up, stick to our timelines, stand behind our product and our service, which we do, and we offer a warranty on everything we do. And the cabinets come with their own warranties as well, direct from the manufacturer. They're all different, so I won't get into that. But
they just have to come and see you.
Yeah, the warranty information is all there at the showroom. We can print it out. You can look it up online. We stand behind everything we do. We're fully insured. All of our staff has company vehicles, company tools. We're all fully equipped to do every job we show up to do, and we'll stand behind everything that we do.
Well, better yet, bottom line, here's the thing. You're in Mokena.
Yeah.
You've got businesses. They've got physical addresses. They can go see you. Okay?
Yeah.
So in other words, what I'm saying is this is not something that you just started. You've been doing this a little bit. You know, you've been growing your business and doing this. So this is something that you're committed to doing, that you're part of the community, you're part of the area.
Absolutely.
And so you're not going anywhere.
Right. We're involved with the community. We're a member of the Mokena Chamber of Commerce. Last year we were part of giving back to a lot of first responders. We were donating a lot of pizzas to the police, the fire department, hospitals, schools. That was a big thing last year that you were part of some of those as well.
I appreciate you including me in it. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're very involved as much as we can be with the community. And, yeah, we're not going anywhere. So if you come knocking on our door saying, my handle's loose, we're going to come fix it.
Right. Well, that's what it comes down to. And also, too, not to cut you off, I was just thinking this is the fact that, you're not going to blow up and ruin everything that you've been putting together and the name that you put together. Same thing, with me is for a $10,000 or even a $40,000 kitchen remodel, because that's how you make your living. There's several remodels going on. Like, same thing with me. I'm not going to, ruin my company name that I built up we're going on 10 years anniversary in January. So
nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not going to, reputable companies are not going to wreck their name over a $10,000 job. I'm not going to wreck my company name for $10,000, even $100,000. Actually, this name it means so much to me because it's, my grandfather's name.
Right.
It's nothing is going to, nothing, because that name means the world to me. So nothing's ever going to tarnish or damage that name, as far as I can help it. Plus, also too, is I do right by people. I want everybody to be happy with the product that we give. Same thing with you. I mean, you want to make sure everybody's happy with everything, because it's stressful in people being upset. It's frustrating when people are upset. I don't want anybody upset. Yeah.
I don't like it. If something comes across my desk where there's an issue or a problem, I got to at least have it scheduled or lined up before I leave that day, knowing that we're set up to make it right, or we make it right that same day. So I don't like to have any issues. I like to make everything right as soon as possible.
Well, that's what we want to do. So you want to say happy holidays to all of our listeners and how to reach you?
I'll make it easier this time. I'll just give the websites.
There you go.
So, you could find us for kitchen remodels at relentlesscarpentry.com. Look us up for flooring at thefloor4u.com, or for countertops, surfacesolutionsil.com, all out of Mokena.
That's awesome.